21. Chapter, to be ungrateful to one's husband. And disbelief is of different grades, lesser, or greater, degrees. Narrated Ibn Abbas. The Prophet said, I was shown the hellfire and that the majority of its dwellers were women who were ungrateful. It was asked, do they disbelieve in Allah? Or are they ungrateful to Allah? He replied, they are ungrateful to their husbands and are ungrateful for the favors and the good, charitable deeds, done to them. If you have always been good, benevolent, to one of them and then she sees something in you, not of her liking, she will say, I have never received any good from you. Sahih al-Bukhari 29. 22. Chapter, sins are from ignorance and a sinner is not a disbeliever unless he worships others along with Allah Azza wa Jal. Narrated Al-Marar. At Ar Rabadha I met Abu Dhar who was wearing a cloak, and his slave, too, was wearing a similar one. I asked about the reason for it. He replied, I abused a person by calling his mother with bad names. The Prophet said to me, O Abu Dhar, did you abuse him by calling his mother with bad names? You still have some characteristics of ignorance. Your slaves are your brothers and Allah has put them under your command. So whoever has a brother under his command should feed him of what he eats and dress him of what he wears. Do not ask them, slaves, to do things beyond their capacity, power, and if you do so, then help them. Sahih al-Bukhari 30. And if two parties, or groups, from among the believers fall to fighting, then make peace between them both. Allah has called them believers. Narrated Al-Anaf bin Qais. While I was going to help this man, Ali ibn Abi Talib, Abu Bakr met me and asked, where are you going? I replied, I am going to help that person. He said, go back for I have heard Allah's messenger, saying, when two Muslims meet each other with their swords, both the murderer as well as the murdered will go to the hellfire. I said, O Allah's messenger, it is all right for the murderer, but what about the murdered one? Allah's messenger replied, he surely had the intention to kill his companion. Sahih al-Bukhari 31. 23. Chapter, dual, wrong, of one kind can be greater or lesser than that of another. Narrated Abdullah. When the following verse was revealed, it is those who believe and confuse not their belief with wrong, worshipping others besides Allah. 6. 83. The companions of Allah's messenger asked, who is amongst us who had not done injustice, wrong? Allah revealed, no doubt, joining others in worship with Allah is a great injustice, wrong, indeed. 31.13. Sahih al-Bukhari 32. 24. Chapter, the signs of a hypocrite. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, the signs of a hypocrite are three. 1. Whenever he speaks, he tells a lie. 2. Whenever he promises, he always breaks it, his promise. 3. If you trust him, he proves to be dishonest. If you keep something as a trust with him, he will not return it. Sahih al-Bukhari 33. Narrated Abdullah bin Amr. The Prophet said, whoever has the following four characteristics will be a pure hypocrite, and whoever has one of the following four characteristics will have one characteristic of hypocrisy unless and until he gives it up. 1. Whenever he is entrusted, he betrays. 2. Whenever he speaks, he tells a lie. 3. Whenever he makes a covenant, he proves treacherous. 4. Whenever he quarrels, he behaves in a very imprudent, evil, and insulting manner. Sahih al-Bukhari 34. 25. Chapter, to establish the nawafil, voluntary, prayers on the night of Qadr is a part of faith. Narrated Abu Hurairah. Allah's messenger said, whoever establishes the prayers on the night of Qadr out of sincere faith and hoping to attain Allah's rewards, not to show off, then all his past sins will be forgiven. Sahih al-Bukhari 35. 26. Chapter, Al-Jihad, fighting in Allah's cause, is a part of faith. 26. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "The person who participates in holy battles, in Allah's cause, and nothing compels him to do so except belief in Allah and His apostles, will be recompensed by Allah either with a reward, or booty, if he survives, or will be admitted to paradise, if he is killed in the battle as a martyr. Had I not found it difficult for my followers, then I would not remain behind any Sariyah going for jihad, and I would have loved to be martyred in Allah's cause and then made alive. And then martyred and then made alive, and then again martyred in His cause." Sahih al-Bukhari 36. 27. Chapter, It is a part of faith to establish the Nawafil voluntary prayers during the nights of Ramadan. Narrated Abu Hurairah. Allah's Messenger said, "Whoever establishes prayers during the nights of Ramadan faithfully out of sincere faith and hoping to attain Allah's rewards, not for showing off, all his past sins will be forgiven." Reference. Sahih al-Bukhari 37. 28. Chapter, To observe fasting, according to Islamic teachings, during the month of Ramadan, sincerely and faithfully, hoping for Allah's reward only, is a part of faith. Narrated Abu Hurairah. Allah's Messenger said, "Whoever observes fasts during the month of Ramadan out of sincere faith, and hoping to attain Allah's rewards, then all his past sins will be forgiven." Sahih al-Bukhari 38. 29. Chapter, Religion is very easy. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "Religion is very easy, and whoever overburdens himself in his religion will not be able to continue in that way. So you should not be extremists, but try to be near to perfection and receive the good tidings that you will be rewarded. And gain strength by worshipping in the mornings, the afternoons, and during the last hours of the nights." See Fath al-Bari, page 102, vol 1. Sahih al-Bukhari 39. 30. Chapter, The offering of Salat prayers is a part of faith. Narrated Al-Bara bin Azib. When the Prophet came to Medina, he stayed first with his grandfathers or maternal uncles from Ansar. He offered his prayers facing Bayt al-Maqdis, Jerusalem, for 16 or 17 months, but he wished that he could pray facing the Kaaba at Mecca. The first prayer which he offered facing the Kaaba was the Asr prayer in the company of some people. Then one of those who had offered that prayer with him came out and passed by some people in a mosque who were bowing during their prayers, facing Jerusalem. He said, addressing them, "By Allah, I testify that I have prayed with Allah's Messenger, facing Mecca, Kaaba. Hearing that, those people changed their direction towards the Kaaba immediately. Jews and the people of the scriptures used to be pleased to see the Prophet facing Jerusalem in prayers, but when he changed his direction towards the Kaaba during the prayers, they disapproved of it." Al-Bara added, "Before we changed our direction towards the Kaaba, Mecca, in prayers, some Muslims had died or had been killed, and we did not know what to say about them, regarding their prayers. Allah then revealed, and Allah would never make your faith, prayers, to be lost, i.e. the prayers of those Muslims were valid. 2:143. Sahih al-Bukhari 40.